Welcome to the Model Aviation Quad Racing Challenge. I'm your host, Jay Smith. We have 3 AMA employees who were tasked with building racing quadcopters, and they each had a $250 budget, and that was to purchase all the components except for the receiver for their transmitter. So we're going to talk to the pilots and get a little information from them about what components they chose and why they chose them, and then they're going to compete against each other through a few different tasks. And let's go ahead and start talking to our pilots and find out a little bit more about their racing quads. I'm here with Dillon, one of our competitors today. Dillon, for the viewers that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about what you do for AMA.
Well, I'm the media producer over at the National Model Aviation Museum, so I handle all of their social media and video and photo media.
So obviously we had a $250 budget, and that allowed you to buy everything that you needed except for your receiver for your transmitter. So this is what you chose. So take the viewers through what you chose and why you chose it.
Sure. Well, first off, I went with the bi-blade Jim Fan Flash. They're a 51-52 pitch prop, so I think that's going to really give me the edge on the top speed competition we have. For my motors, I went with the tried and true Emax. They call them red bottoms, the RS2205, and I went with the 2600 kV model to give me a little bit faster spin on the props. The flight controller I went with was a CL Racing F4, which is a nice basic. It's got an OSD flight controller in there, and then the ESC I used was a 4-in-1 to help save on weight and space, and that's a Siskin Sunrise Model 31 amp BL Heli 32-bit ESC. And the frame I'm running is the Space One Meteor 5-inch frame.
All right, well, good luck today.
Thank you.
I'm here with Matt, one of our competitors. Matt, for the viewers that aren't familiar with you, tell me about what you do for AMA.
Well, I'm the media producer for the AMA in the Media and Publications Department, and I've been here for almost 3 years now.
Excellent. And how did you get involved with multi-rotors and FPV?
Well, obviously, working for the AMA, you get exposed to a wide gamut of model aviation, and got into FPV racing once Multi-GP showed up and held their national championships here last year. So I've been flying it for about a year and a half or so on the FPV side.
Okay, and as we mentioned, there was a $250 budget. Tell us how you spent your budget.
So my goal was to save as much money as I could and really focus on the flight controller, because I knew that was going to make the quad handle better than anything else on the build. So I went fairly inexpensive. I got a Space One FPV Meteor 5-inch, a Siskin 4-in-1 31 amp ESC. The motors I'm running are brand new from Ready Made RC. These are the Silverline motors. They're really inexpensive, but pack a great punch. They're 2205, 2600 kV. But the flight controller is what I really want to focus on, which I'm running a Raceflight Revolt V2. So this is going to, I think, handle better than any of the other competitors. I think that's going to give me a bit of an edge, both in the final race, the final head-to-head race, as well as when we bring in our special guest pilot.
All right, well, good luck.
Thanks.
And I'm here with Kyle, one of our competitors. Kyle, tell the viewers that aren't familiar with you about how long you've been with AMA and what you do for AMA.
Oh, no problem. I've been here for a couple years now, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm the art director and production manager for Model Aviation magazine and Park Pilot. So work alongside a great group of individuals, and we work really hard to make your magazine the best it can be.
So as we talked about earlier, each of the 3 participants were given a $250 budget, but you went a little bit different. You went against maybe tradition in a way as far as the cell count.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your choices and why you went that route.
Not a problem. You know, I thought I would be a little bit different. I kind of assumed everyone was going to be building a 4S quad. And you know, there's a lot of resources out there in terms of how to build your budget quad and how to do that safe and effectively and end up with a product you really like. I knew that that was possible to do. I wasn't entirely certain that we could build a 6S quad. I have no experience with building that 6S, and I thought, you know what, this will be a little bit entertaining, hopefully for y'all and for me too. So decided to set that challenge up for myself. I'm going with the F3 Flip 32 for my flight controller. Budget friendly. You know, and I'm running Betaflight on that, 3.2. For the motors, I'm using RCX, which is the 2208 1800. They seem to be handling the 6S power fairly well, and I haven't gotten any smoke yet, so that's good. The frame was the Valorium. PDB came from Ready Made RC. They had a lot of test data on actually handling up to that 6S power. So let's see if I can.
All right, well, good luck today.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm good. First how it's done, Matt.
I'll spot for you. Are you going to watch?
I've got way more tilt than I'm used to.
Okay, ready?
I was just trying to land with that much
Just
tilt.
go low and drop it. I mean,
With that
Oh,
much
yeah.
tilt, like I can't see where I'm at.
You don't know what the deal is.
what it is. Nice done, Matt. Whoop-de-doo. Motor's nice and warm.
Motor's a little toasty.
Ah!
For takeoff.
So I'm going to the left of that gate.
I don't know if you kicked into high gear there at the end.
Yeah,
Right or not.
I know that's too late. I was kicked over.
I'm going to make another circle and then I'm going to go.
I'd hammer on that almost immediately if you could.
We're good! That didn't sound good. That's kind of off a little high.
That sounded like D. I said it sounded like D, and I
Yeah.
think that's just
I mean,
a limitation.
it looked fast.
Did it?
You were 9 there. You just missed that cement there. That was
It would have just went.
So we've just finished our speed race. Each of our competitors took 2 runs, and we used a pocket radar to get their speeds, and we took the best speed from each racer. So the speeds were 79 miles per hour is one racer's best speed, 84 miles per hour is one racer's best speed, and 86 mile an hour is the top racer. So the top racer at 86 miles per hour is Kyle.
More speed out of it either.
In second place at 84 miles per hour is Dillon. And Matt came in third place at 79 miles per hour.
Good effort.
So the next challenge, as part of our quad racing challenge, is going to be to have our subject matter expert here at Preston. He's going to fly each one of the 3 quads and give us his input on how they fly, how they're set up, and basically judge them. So Preston, for those watching that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about you and your experience racing quads.
Okay, so my name's Preston, go by pilot name Deluxe 312, raced RC cars for probably about 14 years, so I have a decent amount of experience in the RC field, and seems like quadcopters and stuff are the new rage, so picked up that, and it's pretty intense and pretty fun, so just racing as much as I can and blowing up a lot of parts and fixing stuff, so it's pretty fun.
So what drew you to quad racing and FPV?
Oh, I don't know, it's just fast-paced. I mean, it seems like it's just growing. The RC cars seem like it's kind of on the decline, it's just hard to race, so just kind of picked up quads, and seems like there's a bigger following and it's growing every week and every event we go to. So that's pretty much the reason I went, just keep active in the RC field, and I like racing. So I guess first we'll just kind of take it for a lap around, or see how it feels. Well, it feels pretty solid. Let's see if we can get through any of these gates. Oh boy. rates are a little bit higher. Oh boy. The rates are... Let's try that again.
Okay.
Rates are low.
You're still up though.
It's weird flying this other stuff.
For what it's worth, this is stock rates.
Okay. I mean, other than the rates, this thing feels really locked in.
Can definitely tell it's not the kind of rate you're used to.
Yeah, it's just like learning all over again. But like I said, at the low end of the sticks, when it's not like ramping into it, I mean, it really feels locked in. It's just, I have to just get used to being easier on it.
Okay, Preston, you've just taken Matt's quad through its paces. Give us a little overview of what you thought.
Well, I think it flew pretty good. It felt really locked in, I mean, and had decent power. It's just, I felt like I had to relearn how to fly with the higher rates. With the racing stuff, I fly at like hardly any, like 400 degrees a second. That's probably more than double that.
It's about double that.
Yeah, so just getting used to that. But on the low end of the sticks, when you're not just yanking into it, I mean, it really felt locked in, felt like you could put in fast times with it. It's just trying to get used to it. But overall, I think it felt really locked in and decent amount of power. I'm trying to be more conscious of the higher rates this time. Oh my gosh. Okay. Definitely can.
Is it mushy enough in the center?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay real light on the stick, just not try to go to the extreme.
It's hard to get rid of that muscle memory.
I know, I'm used to banging the stick off the edge of the gimbal. I have to really think about it.
So is the OSD the only thing that gives this away compared to Matt's?
I don't know. I'd say they're comparable in like top end speed once you get it up to speed. I feel like his was a little bit tighter, like locked in a little bit more, but I can manage to fly this one with the higher rates. They don't seem to come on as strong. Come in, the battery's under 14. Got where we got.
Yep.
Okay, Preston, you've just flown Dillon's quad. Give us your impressions of his setup.
Yeah, I think it was pretty decent. I think it had about similar amount of power as the other one. And I felt like it was a little bit looser. Flight controller wasn't quite as locked in. A little bit looser in the air, kind of sloppier. But still had the high rates, so I just had to be real gentle on the stick. I'm used to just slamming it in. But it felt like it was pretty easy to fly once I just tried to relearn that real slight movements. But I felt like I made it a few more laps around that time, and overall not bad. I think just the lower rates would help a lot, but I think it felt pretty good.
It's got quite a bit more control at the edges than you're used to.
All right, well, I think we'll give this a shot. Okay. Well, right off the bat, this has some power. I like the rates on it. It feels closer to mine.
Okay.
I'm barely using any throttle, and it's moving.
It's got a lot to go. ESCs and the rotors are always hot, or not hot at all, actually.
Oh.
Not hot at all, so
Okay.
they're usually okay.
Car.
Really?
It's 90% warm.
Yeah. So check it out. This happened earlier. It broke there.
Oh yeah, it broke right on that.
Oh.
And so what we did is we took a couple different arms, made them work.
So, Preston, we broke an arm on this one, and it's actually the second time that the arm's been broken on this one. So it's definitely taken a little bit of damage. But in the time that you were able to fly it, what did you think? What are your impressions?
I felt like this one, I mean, it felt like it was a speed demon, and right off the bat, I mean, you're like 25% throttle range, and it's, you know, already outpacing the other ones, and the rates and stuff, and it felt pretty locked in. Once you really got into the throttle, it started shaking, but overall, I mean, it felt really good on the low end of the throttle, and thought I could start making laps, get comfortable with it, but we kind of had an unexpected landing there, kind of abrupt touch with the ground. So
It's all right. She's used to it.
yeah.
Let's bring all the pilots in so we can get the scoring. Let's see how y'all did.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
On the spot.
Now, on the spot.
Yeah.
Now, the one you're holding, you know,
Right.
is so new, so different, so exciting, so much power, raw power, you know? It's kind of nice.
Yeah. So I think overall, I really like this one just because it felt closest to mine. And really, if you just didn't get way up into the throttle, I could almost fly it, just get a little bit used to it. But it has more than enough power. Could probably be like a Tesla car or something, power that. But I really like this one. Like I said, the rates were good. It felt pretty locked in. Just if you really put the throttle to it, it had some mean shakes. But I think it flew pretty good for what it is.
So of the three, this would be your first pick?
I think so.
Okay.
And then the second would be the second one I flew. And I think third would be the first one I flew. It was just, I don't know, the rates, it was weird. The middle of the stick was kind of mushy, and then once you really got into it, it was just violent. So, but I think that's how I'd rank them. Kind of in reverse order of how I flew them.
Well, we've got two parts of our competition down. We're going into the final race where all three of our competitors are going to race one another with their quads. They're going to go through 3 laps through the course, and the first one through is the winner. So what do you guys, how do you feel about it?
You know what? We'll just see what happens.
I'm gonna just try to stay in the air.
I mean, I can't win at this point, so this may be a situation of who can I take out in the process.
Oh,
We're gonna do a little battle quads.
Let me go turn off my
We're
LEDs.
just gonna have to see.
is this BattleBots now?
No.
3 quads, enter.
You don't want to see a 6 that's fired.
So even at this point, Kyle's in first place, even after having to replace his arm twice on his quad.
One motor.
But in one motor,
But
but
it was
somehow,
in the budget, so we're all good.
somehow you've managed to stay in first place.
You know what? I guess it's good karma coming back.
And Dillon, it's in second place.
Standing right in the middle, standing strong.
And Matt, you're third place.
Thanks, Jay.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, son?
This is the slowest quad race I've ever
Shut up.
Oh.
I went through. I went through.
Yeah, you're good.
I never claimed to be a great racer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good.
No! No, I'm down.
Kyle's down. Well,
No, it's
No,
me.
that was Matt. Kyle's
Matt
still
left
up.
me.
Oh.
Matt's down.
You have to go farther than Matt.
Yeah,
You're in second right now.
There we go.
Why am I trying to go fast?
Crash,
You gotta finish
crash,
the lap.
crash.
You're the only one left.
Well, he's just got to go farther than. What gate did you go through? The far gate, Matt?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where you.
Okay, so you just got to make it down the straightaway, and then you
I hit
got
the
it.
last gate.
Now just make it down the straightaway, and Kyle is our winner.
Should I keep going?
Finish the lap, man, if you
I'll
want.
finish the lap at least.
Yeah.
Finish 3 laps if you want.
What is this lap 2?
Yeah.
Try to get your 3 laps in.
Oh.
Yeah, I dodged it.
Coming down the home stretch on the last lap,
Can't see. the
lining
brake.
up, lining up for the second to last gate.
There won't be a tiebreaker.
It's probably a lot easier when you're not actually competing against
Yeah,
anybody.
it's way easier. Sorry.
Nope.
And that's our winner.
That's our winner.
Woo!
Kyle.
And Matt's our winner? Great,
I said
awesome.
that's
That's not
that's
what
our
I
winner.
Oh.
That's not what I heard.
So we just finished our third segment, the actual head-to-head race between all three competitors. And for the race, in third place was Dillon. In second place was Matt. And in first place was Kyle. So overall, that puts Kyle as our champion of the Model Aviation Quad Race Challenge. And guess what? Look what I have here. AMA Model Aviation Racing Quad Challenge Champion. I'm going to present that to Kyle.
Hey, thank you very much.
So we really appreciate you watching the video, tuning in with us, and have a good evening.